Hello and welcome everyone. This is Botany and Born. I am Baley, and today I have a very important question to ask all of you. Do you want to play a game? I assume the answer to that question for most of you is yes. And if so, you have came to the right place, because I am going to be giving you 4 recommendation list videos for the perfect games to be playing this spooky season. We're going to be hitting up the games to play solo, the games to play with your family, the games to play with a group, and last but not least, those medium weight games that are just dripping with the theme. So, be on the lookout for those to hit up the channel, and without further ado, we'll start by getting into the next list. Alright, list number 1, friends of our one of the 4 spooky lists we have for this October season is going to be solo games. So, without further ado, our first recommendation is The Big Book of Madness. You were wandering around your new arcane university, and you realize that there is a forbidden library. Who doesn't want to go to it? Of course, after hearing that there's such a thing as the Forbidden Library, I want to go. And I went, and I realized that there was a big book of madness, and I opened that book. Blew it right open. Inside, I realized that monsters have been imprisoned in this book. They're going to try to attack me and fill me with madness and put all these curses on me. Cannot have that. This game allows you to level up, plan, beat those monsters. And I highly recommend for playing for October. When I think of October, I always think of murder. And you know, Mr. Walton has been murdered in his study. And it's up to you to find out who killed him, why, and with what. All of this can be found in Awkward Guess. Perfect for Halloween. Also, I have a playthrough that was just out on the channel. Go check it out. The next thing I think of when I think of Halloween in October is going trick-or-treating as a kid. And that's what Welcome to gives you with their Halloween expansion. Will you go for the tricks? Will you go for the treats? It's up to you to choose. Unfortunately, the candy is candy corn, so I would recommend the ghosts. Very good. However, if trick-or-treating is a little too mellow for you, for your Halloween experience, fret not. Because there's also been an outbreak of zombies that are going to need to be tamed. Do you need to set up barricades to keep them out of the houses? Or do you just need to gather up ammo and blow their freaking brains out? I don't know. Regardless, whichever tickles your fancy, welcome to, and the 2 expansions, Halloween and the Zombie Outbreak, perfect for Halloween. Shall we just get into it? You're gonna be like, when is this gonna show up? It's here now. Final Girls, Killers, Hans, Slasher Movie, Halloween, yes. Absolutely perfect to play for Halloween, and it's a solo only game and so freaking brilliant. I have season 1, I have season 2, already back season 3. Shout out, their Kickstarter ends on October 13th. Very fitting in what they did there, and so go check them out. If you haven't yet, you should do it. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And if you're one of those people, which normally I am too, if you just didn't get on the wagon at the beginning and you're like, oh, everybody just keeps talking about it, it's kind of just pushing you away. Don't let it push you away. Don't let you ruin out of having the goodness, because it's great, especially for Halloween. You know what else I think of when I think of Halloween? Being horrified and monsters. Now, do you want American monsters? Bigfoot, the Mothman, that sort of thing? Or do you want Universal monsters? Do you want Frankenstein and the Bride? Do you want Dracula? Yes. Yes, I do. This is my all-time favorite. I also have the Greek monsters on pre-order now, and regardless, these are perfection to bring out for Halloween. Also could be featured on the family list, but I played them solo. So, recommend. Do you ever know that feeling when the graveyard is just getting too full? And the graveskeeper comes up to you and he says, "Could you please dig up these bodies? Organize them for me in the crypt." And I'm like, well, I do like to organize. And it is October. So bring me the dead freaking bodies, right? Skulls have said, like, you guys, you do need to pick up the Monstrance expansion, which is very cheap. Both of them are very cheap. You can get the expansion and the base game for under $20. But highly recommend to help that poor graveskeeper by organizing the bodies. Thematically, of course, to score yourself some points. Very good. Meanwhile, after you were digging up those bodies and you realized that it wasn't in fact legal to dig them up since you technically weren't employed by the graveskeeper, but you meant all well. But regardless, you ended yourself up incarcerated unlawfully so in the Dark Castle. Will you escape? You're down there with all of your friends who were also there helping you last. And you've ended up in this dark castle. You'll be flipping the pages trying to take on these beasts. Will you survive on the way out? I don't know. The artwork will draw you in. Black and white. Oh, the black and white. Gotta love it. To round out our solo list for you all to play this October is The Bloody Inn. What says October? Like opening up an inn, inviting people to stay there, killing them, taking the money from their pockets, and then burying them in all of your annexes before the police wake up the next morning, of course. Love it. Absolutely love Bloody Inn. You need to check it out. Especially for October, I have a playthrough and how to play on the channel. So go watch. And with that, folks, that wraps up the solo recommendation list for this October. Please tune in to the other 3 videos. And with that, thank you all oh so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.